All right, welcome to Government Cheese. And today I'm doing a follow-up video to my Stuffing Things ST50. As you can see here, it is a little different than when you last saw it. So after it broke, I contacted Stuffing Things and they said, oh no, let's send you another one. So they did send me one out. This actually is my old one. I ended up repairing it using a industrial epoxy. And I also noticed when I was repairing it that there were some voids in the trigger guard, which I think might have contributed to it breaking. So I'm not blaming Stuffing Things specifically. I think maybe they had some issues with this particular lower, and they did send me a new one, which is actually a little different. Um, It has some parts in it that are a little different, and I think it's actually an upgrade to the original one. So, all right, let's do a quick comparison between these two lowers. First thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about the charging handle. So the charging handle, when I got it, was extremely rough. There were these little dimples in here. I don't know exactly how they cut it. They might have used a laser or water, and then they bent it. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up filing those down, and then I buffed the charging handle completely because it was not allowing the bolt to snap into the gun correctly until I buffed it out and made it run smoothly. So that's something I just suggest you do. The other thing was this roll pin keeps on moving in there. I'm probably going to bump it. It didn't come out. And then the latch on the charging handle is not very intuitive. It's not like an AR-15. You have to like specifically pull it at the right angle in order to get it to disengage. So let's go ahead and do a comparison. So on the lower over here, you'll see right where it broke on the trigger guard, where it's been epoxied. And they didn't really change that. It looks about the same. I'm going to go ahead and remove that roll pin and put the mag catch in there. One of the areas that they did change, which I'm really glad they did because it actually just pulled right out. These little screws that hold this plate on, that help hold it together. You'll notice on this one there are little nuts that they made room for that these screws screw into, so it's not screwing into the plastic. And in this one, what they did is they pressed in some brass or bronze bushings, and they popped right out. So when I was originally putting this in, they actually ended up popping out, and it was kind of alarming. I had to repress those back in there. So I think that nut is definitely a more secure, better idea. The other thing is the fit and finish of this one is much better. I think maybe they were just making these like mad, and that might have been the reason why they just churned this one out. There's some little pock marks and stuff like that, and the safety was extremely tight when I originally put it in. So yeah, just I think they upgraded a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and swap these parts out, including the fire control group, and then we'll take a look at it again. All right, so I went ahead and put it together. As you can see, everything fits really good. I do like the upgrades they did on it. If you look at the other one, you'll see that in these screws, holding these screws on, are just some brass bushings. And they did kind of pop out the first time I put it together, and I had to mash those back in. So putting the actual nuts on the inside of this to help with any movement or anything, I think is a really great idea. I still want to see them make this out of aluminum. You know, it's not that tough to make it out of aluminum. I'm a machinist, and I mean, this is really simple. A while back they had little aluminum pieces that would demonstrate AR triggers, and that's pretty much what this looks like. And I guarantee you, whoever was making those wasn't paying very much at all I mean, machine time is about 90 bucks an hour. You got material costs is maybe like 10, 15 bucks. And you're looking at, probably under $80 to manufacture this cost out of aluminum. Um, Maybe a little more, not much. And then you could sell it for 250 pretty easily, I think. Because let's be honest, this turns the Kel-Tec P50 from a curiosity, something that we all looked at and said, oh, that kind of looks cool, to, wow, that is pretty amazing. And it definitely is. I love shooting this thing. It just had zero recoil, super fun, fairly accurate. I'm going to take it out again and do some more testing. Going to do some accuracy testing on it. And can't wait for them to make the FRT trip. I think that'll turn this into even a next level firearm. So, yeah, go ahead and, give me a like and a subscribe if this stuff is interesting to you. I'm going to throw up some more videos on, more about machining and how some of this stuff is done and what the overall costs are. It's not perfect. It's kind of a general thing, but you can just look at parts and go, yeah, that's pretty easy to make. And I know that they're just making these like mad right now. But I think they're really onto something. I love the way that they can go from concept to, working part in a couple months and then get it right out there on the market. Because, the gun market is insatiable. We have an insatiable desire for new firearms. And what this does is it takes firearms that are interesting but not to their full potential and allows you to really make them to their full potential. And I think this is definitely the case with the Kel-Tec. So yeah, the St50. I think this is a really cool concept. Amazing backpack gun. So yeah, if this is something that you're, if this is something that you were kind of hesitating on whether or not to pull the trigger on, dude, get it. I mean, when I saw this, it was like, take my money. I want this. There's a great design. It's just, I can't say enough about it. From a gun geek perspective, this is exactly what we're looking for. This is a modern firearm. This is not like, just another AR, just another, whatever gun, another PCC, I mean, you name it. There's like a list of these constantly revolving firearms that's coming around. Another new striker fired 9mm handgun. No, this is taking a concept and making it better. And I think this is the only reason why people are going to buy these Kel-Tecs in the future. I'm sure that Kel-Tec is selling them like mad. I kind of thought for a while there that they might end up discontinuing them, but this is probably going to save them. And if I were Kel-Tec, I would be calling those guys at Stuff and Things and, or making my own, because I think this is that much of a game changer. So yeah, really cool. Props to the guys at Stuff and Things for getting this to me. I emailed them that it was broken, and about 8 days later they sent me a new one. And they could have hemmed and hawed and had me send the other one back and all that BS, but they didn't. And so props to them. Good customer service. Immediately when I emailed them, they emailed me back, within a couple hours saying, oh, we'll send you another one. Just send us your order number. So can't say enough about those guys. But again, make one out of aluminum magazine catch, I think would be best. So yeah, go ahead and tell me what you think down in the comments. I'll be hanging around for the next couple of days just to see what you guys are doing.